Hello and welcome. We're going to get into another video. Today's video will talk about the top teams in the Master League. Currently, we have some new Pokemons like that they will introduce to the current Master League meta, which is Black and White Kyurem, and those have shaked the meta slightly. Palkia is still the best, but there is some new teams that will introduce, like, because of the Black and White Kyurem like coming to the game. Like now we will see, as an example, more of dragon damage, because Black Kyurem doesn't have dragon fast move. I mean, you could run Dragon Tail, but you have to run Shadow Claw because it's just a fast energy generation fast move. And Black Kyurem just have an amazing charge move, and you just want to keep spamming those. If you take a look at PvP ranking in the Master League, if you take a look at the current PvP ranking, we still have Palkia as the #1 Pokemon, followed by Black Kyurem, then Zygarde, then Meloetta. So in the top 4, we have 2 new Pokemons, Meloetta, and that's because Meloetta got 2 big buffs. Psyshock got a big buff, and Psyshock is now one of the best charge moves in the game. And also Dazzling Gleam got a huge buff, and it has both. Also it's a normal type, which is, giving it, like, you don't take any damage from Shadow Claw because it's double resisted. So it can be like an answer to a Black Kyurem. Zygarde, Zygarde's just Zygarde. Tapu Lele. Tapu Lele, I think Home Slice Henry said something, and it was actually correct. He said Tapu Lele is a... no, that's Tapu... yeah, Tapu... Bulu. Oh, that's Tapu Bulu. Wait, Tapu Lele is the astonished one. Never mind. Tapu Lele, because it has Psyshock and Nature's Madness, so it also get a slight buff. Florges, too many buffs, but to be honest, like, I don't agree with PvP ranking in the Master League. I do have my own ranking, so we're gonna talk about that. So Pokemons to be aware of, we have Yveltal. Yveltal is still insane, one of the greatest Pokemons in the current meta. The problem is just lose pretty hard to White Kyurem, but it has a good matchup into Black Kyurem because the Shadow Claw is resisted. And basically Yveltal is the strongest neutral type damage Pokemon. It used to be. Now it's just a Black Kyurem. Landorus still has a decent play. White Kyurem or Black Kyurem? White Kyurem, you could say that it is a fast move Pokemon, and Black Kyurem, it's a charge move Pokemon. So if you need something that has more fast move pressure, you go with the White Kyurem. If you need something with fast move pressure, you go with the Black Kyurem. Except that White Kyurem can beat Black Kyurem because it has a fire charge move. Like the cheap one is fire, while like the cheap one here is electric. So because the electric is resisted by White Kyurem, but the fire move is neutral to the Black Kyurem. Dialga has a play now in the current meta because now it's a Pokemon that can beat Palkia, Black Kyurem, and White Kyurem as well. And anything else to mention here? I saw Xerneas making a comeback. That's because Home Slice Henry made a Black Kyurem plus Xerneas video, and people are using his team. To be honest, it's a good team. I made my own team, and it's like a slightly different, but the same concept. Ho-Oh is still good. I actually didn't want to talk about Ho-Oh because it's kind of hard to counter my team. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to sneak a team, and I'm not going to tell anyone about Ho-Oh. But when I made the video, I'm like, no, that's just cheap. Here, we tell people about all the good teams, whether I like them or I hate them. So you can subscribe to the channel if you haven't liked the video. If you didn't already. So let's move to the top Pokemon. So these are like the top Pokemons, but these are like the top meta Pokemons. Usually what I recommend is, like, you should have at least 1 Pokemon from those. 2 Pokemons are ideal. Where is Black Kyurem? Where's Black Kyurem? Let's not do that. Let's just have White Kyurem as well. Yeah, at least you should have 2 Pokemons from here. And I don't think I talked about Lion, Necrozma Lion. Necrozma Lion is by far the safest Pokemon in the Master League right now because it's just so versatile, and you can now have a very flexible moveset. You could run Outrage Iron Head or Sunseal Strike with Dark Pulse. Outrage Iron Head just beat everything. Dark Pulse win the meet. So it's up to you to decide which one you would rather have. And honestly, it's just a great overall to have Lion. Lion is technically the best safe swap in the current meta. You have Enamorus right here. Enamorus is technically the top performing Pokemon, but I don't like Enamorus that much because it's kind of making the Master League meta slightly RPS. Zamazenta was a good core breaker, but now Zamazenta is just a bad version of White Kyurem. White Kyurem just literally does everything better with like 1200 more CP or something. So you can just imagine the differences. We should be getting the new Zamazenta and Zacian forms in Go Fest, but I don't expect them to have good moveset. That's how we usually work. Niantic give us the new Pokemons in Go Fest, and in the tour event, we get the legacy moves. Now, we talked about the Pokemons. Let's just talk about the teams. And we're just going to use the new format where, like, I recommend 2 different teams. So, for Ho-Oh. No, this is not correct. So for Ho-Oh, you have 2 options. You either go with Ho-Oh Lion Rayquaza, and Lion Heat has Outrage because you need to beat the Palkia, or you can go Ho-Oh Rhyperior, Dragonite. So what's the difference between this and this? This team is kind of like stronger, but like I don't expect people to have all these 3. So if you don't have this, you have an option to run this. This is like more of like a budget friendly. I mean, because we had a Shadow Raid day, so if you played the Shadow Raid day, you should have a 98, if not a hundo at least, if you played that day, okay? Because like Shadow Raid events have much higher chance to get the hundo, because it could be like 1 of 3 stats, right? And you think that's above 13. Probably you could also do here Tapu Bulu as like the Rhyperior hard counter instead. So the Rhyperior, you could run Tapu Bulu, and you could just lead Tapu Bulu and have Ho-Oh here. But that's not the teams that I will be running. I will be running something with Enamorus, and with Enamorus, you have 2 different paths you could choose. Enamorus with Dialga and Ho-Oh, or Enamorus Primarina and Ho-Oh. I don't think the Ho-Oh is a must. You could actually just run a 3rd fairy here. You could just run something like Zacian. You could also run something like Kyogre. So you can have triple Rhyperior counters. If you're sick of the Rhyperior, I recommend triple fairy. Yeah, because Rhyperior is just everywhere. So if you want to have something that gives Rhyperior a hard time, just run Enamorus with the Primarina. I am running something like Enamorus with Dialga and a 3rd Pokemon that I'm not gonna say. But if you guys watch my stream, you would know that I love using Kyogre. Why do I use Kyogre? Because it does beat Enamorus actually, I think in the 0 and in the 1, and also it destroys Rhyperior and Ho-Oh and Lion. And those Pokemon literally exist in every team. So if you're able to pick up a good lead with Kyogre, you can just fight for the swap and have an easy win. You don't have to count, just tap your way, win switch, put that Kyogre on the Ho-Oh or on the Lando or the Lion, and you should have an easy win. I do like the pairing of Kyogre plus Dialga. Like, they do cover each other as well. I don't think they share that many weaknesses. I think the only tough weakness is like just Enamorus. But Enamorus has to play the 2 shield against Dialga. Dialga can just win the 0 and the 1. Prima is there. If you don't have a Prima, you could just do Yveltal. Speaking of Yveltal, I do have many videos about this team. Yveltal, Dialga, Kyogre. This is like 3 kind of a neutral play. And we have 2 hard answers to Rhyperior. That was like the main reason about this team, like 2 hard counters to Rhyperior. I mean, Yveltal is not a hard counter to Rhyperior, but it can counter Rhyperior because you don't take damage from Mud Slap, right? So you can just 2 shield and just leave with so much health to give them trouble with whatever they bring in. I think Softove made it like to top 5 in the leaderboard with Yveltal, Lion, and Xerneas. Or Kyogre. But any like, you can't go wrong with Yveltal. You could go this, you could go this, you could choose literally Yveltal with any 2 of these 4, and you should have a good Yveltal team. Yveltal kind of like struggle against fairy leads, and if you see that many fairy leads, I think you just should be running Landorus. Why Landorus? Because Landorus like has a debuff charge move, Sensei Storm, and it does kind of give you a great play in neutral matchups. But like the best thing about Landorus is that it has so many good matchups that even when it's bad, it can still do some good work, and that's because it has a debuff move. I've seen a couple of Landorus teams, Landorus with Zacian and Palkia, because he's trying to counter the Kyogre in the back, or Landorus with Dialga and Palkia. I think Axen, The world champion runs this team: Lando, Dialga, Palkia. It's like 3 neutral Pokemons. So basically, you just, if you win the lead, you just maintain alignment, and you should have a good a good game. Now moving into Tapu Bulo, the poor man, the Teemo Enamoras. The Teemo Enamoras, as Home Slice Henry once told me, is like, oh, Tapu Bulo is a Teemo Enamoras. He is right in so many cases, but there is like, I think 2 or 3 matchups where like Tapu Bulo can actually do better, and that matchup is basically the Kyogre matchup, just to be specific. In the Kyogre matchup, Tapu Bulo is actually better. The Alga matchup, both win the 2, except that I think Tapu Bulo can live with so much health and energy. And like more energy. Basically, that's specific. Those specific 2 matchup. Everything else in Amulet is much, much better. With the Tapu Bulo, the main Tapu Bulo team is Tapu Bulo, Palkia, Rhyperior. But I've seen Tapu Bulo with Zygarde and Ho-Oh. Like those like 2 teams like exist. Now moving into the big boss, the final boss in Pokemon Go, Black Kyurem. Black Kyurem is such an insane Pokemon. And this is actually the best team because this is my team, okay? I run Black Kyurem with Dialga or Lion and Enamoras. I think Henry made a video. It was Xerneas with Black Kyurem and the third. I don't remember the third, but maybe it was either Ho-Oh or the Dialga. But I ran with Tapu Bulo. I like Tapu Bulo. Sorry, Enamoras. I like Enamoras slightly more than Xerneas, and just for like getting shields down. That's basically why. But a Pokemon that I haven't mentioned, it says Meloetta, and I don't know why do I have Lyle's Jeff here instead of Meloetta. Basically, for Lyle's Jeff, for Meloetta, you can go with 2 paths. You can go double dogs, and I do have a video about this. For White Sage, for like Zamazenta, you could just run White Kyurem, and it's just stronger. But I think Lyle's Jeff was just running this team. But I just didn't want to have like White Kyurem in both teams. And you could also go double Dragon. This is actually a great team to use. If I have a good Meloetta, I would be using this team right here. The team basically tried to triple counter the Black Kyurem. And you might struggle a bit into the Lion because Lion is just insane. But you can try to soften it with Palkia and farm it down later with Meloetta. For budget teams, if you are into budget teams, you can play all these teams. Gyarados is good. Ursaluna is good with a Swift Ice Punch, I think. Goldingo has a good play. It beats all the fairies. Or like you can just go with Togekiss Rhyperior. A team that a Pokemon I did not talk about, which is Downwing. Downwing makes a good team with Rhyperior and Dialga. And Smash King has sent me battles using this team. So if you want to see something about this, you can also go and check the video. Or you can just give Smash King a follow and watch his stream while he plays the bat. He loves the bat. I mean, the bat is one of the best closers, but now the bat is just basically a downgraded Black Kyurem. So yeah, that's pretty much it for today's video. I tried to keep it short and explain all the new stuff that are in Master League. So yeah, thanks so much everyone for watching. I hope you guys like this video. If you like this video, make sure to leave a like. If you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe. And I will catch you all in the next video. Thanks so much for watching, and enjoy the rest of your day, night, or whatever you're having. Peace.